Hey guys, doing well today. So yeah, in today's video we're talking about Wales versus England for round 3 of the Six Nations. Before I start, just want to quickly ask you to click that subscribe button below, as well as comment below and tell me who you think will win this game. So yeah, getting on with this video. So obviously Wales have won their first 2 games, obviously then beating Ireland at home and then beating Scotland away. So that was 2 very, very good results you could say for Wales. Obviously I think both results, they weren't actually predicted to actually win them. So for them to be in the position they are now, obviously sitting on 9 points is a huge boost for them. And going into this game, they have all the momentum you could say in their way. But yeah, obviously on the other side with England though, they did actually lose their first game against Scotland at home. So that was a huge shock you can say. But then obviously they did recover it and they beat Italy at home again, pretty convincingly I'd say. But yeah, this is their pretty much the third round, and yeah, England will definitely want to get back on track. And if they were to win this, then the Six Nations would kind of open up, you can say, with obviously France and them not playing this week. But I'll get onto that within a later video. But more or less, it's very interesting. But yeah, I'll just go over the lineups now, just right here. Here's the lineups for both sides, and yeah, I'll just tell you what I think about them, and yeah, the ones to watch players as well as who I think will win. So yeah, for Wales, obviously they've selected Wyn Jones at number 1, they've gone with Ken Owens at number 2, they've gone with Thomas Francis at 3, so pretty decent front row I'd say there for Wales. For the local musicians, they have Adam Beard and Alwyn Jones, obviously the captain for Wales, so that's good to see. Josh Navidi they've gone with at 6, Justin Tipuric at 7, and then they've gone with, Faletau at 8, which is kind of the predicted, I would say, loose forwards who I would personally choose, because I think Navidi, Tipuric and Faletau, all 3 of them playing together is definitely going to be a huge boost, you could say, for this Welsh side. Obviously, because Navidi is coming into the side now, so that's a huge boost for them. But other than that, they haven't really made any other changes from that front row. So with their back row, they have made a few changes. Starting with the number 9, they have Kieran Hardley in, which is an interesting one to see, because obviously they've had either Gareth Davis or Thomas Williams in that position. But now, Hardley is actually getting his first, you could say, start for Wales within the Six Nations. That's good to see. And obviously he'll be partnering up with Dan Biggar at the 10 spot. For the 11, obviously we have Lewis Lee Sammy, who's actually switching to the 11 spot instead of his usual 14. And I'll explain why later. But more or less with the centres, they're going with Jonathan Davis as well as George North. So that's a very interesting centre combination there. I mean, both of them really, Jonathan Davis just to come back into the side, that's the positive, because he wasn't actually involved in the first 2 rounds of Wales. So for them to have actually Jonathan Davis as an option, that's a huge boost. And yeah, George North also coming back into the side, so that's another one in that sense. But yeah, no, Josh Adams is actually one who's actually come back into the side, and more or less he's in the 14 spot, and that's kind of why Lewis Lee Sammy has actually switched to the 11 spot, which is kind of weird because normally they would be vice versa. But yeah, anyway. But yeah, the last spot obviously at 15, Liam Williams is filling in that gap, and yeah, he should do pretty well, pretty good within the air, and yeah, overall just a solid team overall, and yeah, decent bench to use within the second half as well. So moving on to England, obviously at number 1 they have selected Mako Vunipola, Jamie George at 2, and Kyle Sinclair at 3. So yeah, no, they have you could say not a new front row in the sense where they've kept Vunipola and Sinclair after their, you could say, impressive performance against Italy, and obviously Sinclair did get man of the match, so it's good to see that he's actually given the chance to continue on his form. But Jamie George actually has come back into the side, obviously, because within that first game against Scotland, he just didn't perform to the best level, and Luke Cohen-Dickie had to come on for him, within the second round, but he didn't really make as much of an impact. So yeah, it's good to see that Jamie George is given another chance. Yeah, but for the local musicians, they go on with Mario Toje and Johnny Hill, so pretty good options there within the locks. For the loose forwards, they go with Mark Wilson, which is interesting to see. He's come back into the side after, as he didn't play within the second round. But yeah, they've also selected Tom Curry and Benny Villapona for the other loose forwards. And yeah, I think the loose forwards will be probably the key battle within this game. It just matters on who's actually better within the breakdown, in my opinion. But yeah, we'll see what happens there. With the 9 and 10 spot, obviously they have Ben Youngs, and they've gone with George Ford again, which is good to see. I think he worked pretty well within that 10 spot, particularly against Italy, so that's good to see. That's he's starting again. For the 11 spot, they're going with Johnny May, so kind of usual, expected that. Owen Farrell, obviously at 12, and he will be captaining the side once again, and hopefully he can, make a more of an impact within this game, compared to the previous games. Because in my opinion, I don't think he made as much of an impact, as a centre as I would like. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see on that. And obviously Henry Slade at 13, and Anthony Wilson at 14, and Elliott at 15. So it's a pretty interesting side overall that they've selected. I mean, out of the goal player, the ones to watch players who I've selected in gold here, I've obviously selected Justin Tipperick for Wales to be the ones to watch player. I just think that he's I personally think he's Wales' best loose forward, and if he brings his A game, then yeah, England are going to be in trouble. That's just straight up, they're going to be in trouble. But I have said the ones to watch player though for England will be Henry Slade, and the reason why I'm saying this is because if you looked at his first performance against Scotland, he just was not in the game. I think that's purely the basis where what's his name, Redpath just really bulldozed him within that game. It was just really, really good within just gaining kicks within the territory. But within that second game though, Henry Slade just changed up his whole game. And he was a very good playmaker, you can say, in the sense where he was distributing the ball very quickly, and he always found these tight gaps to offload it. He played a very, very good game. So hopefully he can continue that on to this game. Yeah, if I had to give a prediction on who would actually win this game, it's a weird one, because normally I would say that England would actually have this in the bag, but because of Wales' form recently, and because they're at home, and I just feel like it's in Wales. It's in Wales' favour, so I kind of have to select Wales for this, in my opinion. So I am going to select Wales to actually win this game, but I'll say they'll win this game by at least, I think it'll be obviously a close game, and I'll say they'll win it only by like 3 points. But I think there'll be a very tight margin, so I'll say they only win it by like 20-17. Yeah, 20-17 Wales is my final prediction for the game. But yeah, anyway, just hope you guys have a good day. Definitely comment below, like I said, and tell me who you guys think will win, because I'm interested to hear who you guys think. But other than that, just have a good day, and yeah, see you guys next time.